Hello everyone and welcome to another game from the Chess Olympiad 2024. It is the 45th edition and we have a very nice game between Arjun Erigaisi representing India and Péter Prohászka. So it's a really crazy game. Arjun, even though he is almost 2800, is playing really risky chess, which I love to see and I'm sure you guys do as well. And here he's facing a very strong Hungarian grandmaster. Hungary has two teams in the Olympiad. This is Hungary B, and even in 2006 he was under 14 European champion, Péter Prohászka. So let's check it out, and I'm also going to show you two other games which we're not going to analyze. I'm just going to show you the moves as you guys also requested to see them. But I thought since it's the Olympiad, okay, maybe for a video I choose one game to analyze and then some other notable ones to show. So suggest as many as you want. You know, even if I don't analyze it, it could make the cut for being previewed at the end of the video. So let's check it out. I also added the flags. Some of you guys were requesting country flags, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but for the Olympiad, okay, let's use it. So okay, Arjun with white opens with pawn to c4. He goes for the English opening. We have pawn to e6, going for the Agincourt defense against the English, and knight to c3. We have pawn to d5 and pawn to d4. Transposing into the standard Queen's Gambit declined. Knight to f6, we have knight to f3, bishop to e7, and c captures on d5. We have e captures and bishop to f4. Bishop to g5, still the most popular. Arjun prefers bishop to f4, and I've seen a lot of Indian players that go for this bishop to f4 line, so I guess it's something they're training with each other, and usually met with c6 or castles. But here we have knight to h5 by Prohászka, asking what do you do with the bishop, and Arjun brings it back. There's a game that Gukesh played either this year or last year. I think it's even this year against Yuangi. The game ended in a draw, and Yuangi attacked his bishop. Gukesh also brought the bishop back to d2, but in that game, pawn to c6 was played by Yuangi. Here we have castles kingside. We have pawn to e3, and now a couple of games with c5 do exist, but now knight back to f6 by Péter, and it is now as of move 8 that we have a completely new game. So okay, bishop to d3 by Arjun, knight b to d7, preparing pawn to c5, or maybe c6 and then pawn to c5 at some point in the future. Queen to c2, putting pressure on that h7 pawn. C6 and pawn to g4. Now this is not your standard g4 pawn sacrifice, as if the knight moves you're going to capture the pawn on h7, so the pawn cannot be captured. We have knight to e4, but the best way to defend would be g6, something like g6, and if pawn to g5 you're going to play knight to h5 and then castles queenside. It's not at all clear how white can actually push for some sort of a kingside attack here. But okay, after g4 we have knight to e4 by Péter, and now pawn to h4. Okay, just continuing to push those kingside pawns. Rook to e8, and now pawn to g5. We have pawn to f5, and the g captures on f6 en passant. If some of you are new to chess, this capture is well, a weird one, that is true. It comes from French, it means in passing, because this pawn is just passing by and you're capturing it without there actually being any tension between pawns. And it's a very useful move to know. And also you can only do it now. If you now make a move and then black makes a move, then you cannot play this on the next move, in case you're new to chess. But okay, g captures on f6, capturing en passant, and right away we have knight d captures on f6, and now knight to g5. Okay, we have h6 attacking the knight, and now knight c captures on e4, preparing to capture with the d4 knight if h captures and g5 is played, but that would be terrible. And even better if h captures is knight captures on f6, and then after bishop captures, bishop to h7 check, or just h captures on g5, and black's entire position just falls apart. So after knight c captures on e4, d captures on e4, and now Arjun's knight just goes back, picks up the e4 pawn. We have knight captures on e4, bishop captures, and now bishop to e6, developing and also sort of preventing castles because the a2 pawn would be hanging, but Arjun doesn't care. He could castle here, but instead he goes rook to g1, just putting pressure on that king, and okay. What's fascinating is that Arjun is the one who's attacking here. I mean, you can feel that he's the one who's attacking, but he's the one who is up material. That is a little bit weird, and also could be an indication that something went wrong with Black's position, even though if you put this to an engine and really, you know, allow it to analyze it deeply, the engine will say, yeah, this is a perfectly fine equal position, as old positions are. And now bishop to f6. This is one of those positions where you can capture on h4, but okay, if an almost 2800 player is offering it, maybe it's best not to. So bishop to f6, we have castles queenside. Arjun now offers the a2 pawn as well, and now we have queen to e7. Here, capturing on h4 actually runs into a very nasty, well, checkmating attack. Starts with bishop to h7 check, and after the king moves, you just capture on g7, and that's it. King captures, queen to g6 with check, king to h8 and d5. Once the bishop lands on c3, that is game over. So after castles queenside, we have queen to e7, and now bishop to g6. This is pretty much the only move that gives Arjun the advantage, and not an easy one to spot, but he plays it. Also, what bishop to g6 does is not just attack the rook. It attacks the rook. Okay, you win a tempo there, but you can play pawn to e4 and open up the dark square bishop. So, okay, rook e to d8, but now bishop to c3, not the move you guys might have expected. We have pawn to a5, and now bishop to f5. Again, another very strong move. King to b1, also playable, but Arjun doesn't seem to care about that a2 pawn. And now bishop captures on a2. We have rook to g6. Arjun now uses this time that Péter lost by capturing on a2 to double up rooks on the g file. We have rook to f8 and rook d to g1. King h8, as now there are many threats here, like rook captures on h6 being the most obvious one. King to h8, and now pawn to e4. The only winning move for white, but not a very difficult one to spot. However, what happens next is very difficult to spot. We have rook to f7. Péter just brings the rook to help out with the defense, and now queen to d2. This is e5. Okay, that's the obvious move, but queen d2 is preparing something really scary that if you haven't seen this game, you guys will absolutely love it. Queen to f8, and now pawn to d5. This is beautiful. Pawn to e5 here would be pretty bad after rook to f7, because the once you play queen to d2 and queen to f8, your queen is no longer guarding the bishop. So e5 here would be just weird. Bishop captures and your bishop here is hanging. You've allowed black back into the game. So after queen to f8, we have pawn to d5, offering a trade of bishops, but trading doesn't really do all that much. The queen just assumes the bishop's place on this diagonal, and all of the threats remain. So here we have c captures on d5, and now pawn to e5. This is the tricky maneuver. Bishop captures on h4, now pawn to e6, attacking the rook, and the rook to f6, hoping to give back at least a little bit of material to survive the attack, but Arjun says, not today. He plays pawn to e7, attacks the queen, and there's nothing for Péter to be done here. He can just resign, but he insists on continuing the game. He plays queen captures on e7, and now, even though there are many ways you could win this game, one is particularly awesome, so feel free to pause the video and spot this idea for Arjun while I give you a couple of seconds. So, for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on finding this brilliancy. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is, sorry, what was that? It is queen captures on h6. That is the maneuver. Sorry, what? Queen captures on h6. And also, I've just realized I've left Magnus's rating for Péter. So let me just quickly fix that. Yeah, that's a weird maneuver. Let me just check where do I have it. Okay, so here it is. Sorry about that. Couldn't have happened at a better moment, since you guys just solved the position. Let me just upgrade this not to appear that Arjun is playing against the 2800 player. So yeah, queen captures on h6. We're gonna give it a brilliancy mark because, okay, everyone would have played e5 in that position. Queen captures on h6. It all spawned from this queen to d2 idea. And now g captures on h6. If you go king at the g8, we're just gonna capture on g7, and after king to f8, okay, you're just gonna deliver checkmate. So captures did occur, and now rook captures on h6 with check. As the bishop is pinning the rook on f6, queen to h7 only move, and now rook captures on h7 with a beautiful double bishop, double rook checkmate. Look at this. Look at the bishop pair from hell. Fully operational, and the rooks also fully operational. Brilliant attack by Arjun. So yeah, sorry about that rating mix-up. It'd be weird, yeah, if anyone else was as rated as Magnus that we haven't heard of. So yeah, sorry about that. But now let's check out the other two games that I wanted to show you. This one is also one of the games that you guys requested from the other Hungary team. Lorenzo Lodici versus Anish Giri. And it's, okay, Lorenzo also 25-64, playing against a much higher rated Anish, 27-16, even though Anish really pushing to get below 2700. So he will have to step it up a little bit. So we're not going to analyze this one, but we are going to show the interesting parts. Okay, so it was a standard Nimzo Indian defense, the St. Petersburg variation. And here, after bishop to b7, Anish attacked the pawn, and Lorenzo decided to sacrifice the pawn. Okay, captures rook to g1, bishop to f3, and now, okay, rook g3 attacks the bishop, bishop captures on c3, b captures, bishop to e4, queen to c2. Okay, just nicely continuing development, captures, and knight h5. Anish goes after the rook, rook to h3, and pawn to g6. Seems like Anish has everything under control, and as you can see, the engine definitely agrees with Anish, but he's playing a position he might not have studied all that much, as he is down to 56 minutes on the clock. Pawn to e4, grabbing the full center, d6, knight to g3, and Anish trades. Knight captures, queen captures, pawn to f6, and now bishop to h6. And here we have rook to g8 by Anish, giving it a question mark. Pawn to e5, the black king is in the center of the board, so of course we need to open up lines of attack. Knight to d7, and now castles queenside. We have queen to e7, captures on f6, knight captures, and bishop to g5. And this is what's interesting about this move. As soon as bishop to g5 was played, Anish played knight to e4. He didn't even spend time. He actually won time on this move. So it seems like he's offering a trade of queens, but in reality, he's blundering the game. So captures on e7, captures on g3, captures, and now rook captures on h7, and the other rook is also coming to help out, and there is nothing more to be done here. Lorenzo doubled up rooks, and Anish can simply resign. He played a few more moves, but here after captures, and captures on c4, rook to f2 check, king g3, here Anish Giri resigned the game, as the g6 pawn will be lost. I mean, if you capture on h2, if you don't, then pawn to h4, but also, yeah, you're going to be down at least 2 pawns in a terrible position, so Anish did not want to play this. And another game you guys really wanted to see is Benjamin Gledura versus Felix Blogberger. It's a really wild attack, so let's check out that one as well. So Benjamin opens with pawn to e4. We have pawn to e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop to b5. We have the Rui Lopez on the board. Berlin defense, knight to f6, d3, bishop to c5, captures, and knight b to d2. Okay, all very standard stuff. Bishop e6, castles, bishop d6, knight b3, pawn to a5, queen to e1, and pawn to a4, as the pawn on a5 was hanging, knight a5, queen to c8, and knight to g5. We have bishop d7, knight to c4, and castles kingside. Pawn to f4, okay, we're gonna launch an attack against the black king. Bishop to c5 check, bishop to e3, and captures. We have captures on f4, and pawn to h6, attacking the knight, and this is where the fun starts. Knight f3, knight to g4, and now knight to f5. We have bishop captures on f5, rook captures, and now rook to e8, queen to g3, attacking the knight, and knight e3 attacks the rook on f5. And this is where the fun really starts. Not doing anything about the rook, but rather knight to d4. Because, okay, you're giving up the exchange, but your knight will assume the beautiful f5 square. Knight captures, we have knight captures, pawn to g6, and now rook to f1. The knight is pinned, so you don't have to worry about that. Queen to d8, and now knight captures on h6. With check, so you're going after that f7 pawn. King g7 and the rook captures on f7 check, sacrificing the knight, but it doesn't matter. You know, so close to the white queen, and in between the white queen and the white rook, there is no way for the black king to survive. Captures on h6, queen to h3 check, king to g5, queen to e3 check, king to h5, and now rook to h7 check, king to g4, and pawn to h3. And this is how Benjamin Gledura checkmated Felix Blogberger. It was the match Hungary versus Austria. And yeah, definitely another beautiful game that you guys suggested. But like I said, I'm going to analyze one, and I'm going to show a couple of notable ones that you guys also thought were interesting. Or maybe the ones that I thought were interesting, maybe you guys will not even suggest it. Maybe I will suggest it. You know, you never know. But still, do suggest, and I will, you know, if it's a nice game, I will show it at the end of the game that I decided to cover. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Brilliantly played by Arjun as usual. We haven't seen the standings for, not the standings, but the top ratings in the world. So, okay, as you can see, Magnus won a couple of points, plus 1.6. Fabi won 5 points, so getting closer to Magnus. He still has 30 points to go, but I mean, he did get all the way to Magnus that one time during their 2018 World Chess Championship match. So who knows, maybe he gets there again. Hikaru, those are the only three 2800 players. Then we have Arjun plus 4 points, Norbek Abdusatov plus 5.9, Gukesh plus 5. We have Wei Yan plus 3, Pragnananda plus 4, Dominguez plus 3, Quang Liam Le plus 3 and 3.8. We have Levon plus 4. And okay, not a lot happening here, but yeah, we do have some action going on. So yeah, those were the games. That's the World Top 20. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I would like to thank Joseph Treat, GroznyChessFestival.org.gg, Dr. Captain Collins, Professor Hexagon, and William Gould for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.